Good evening, America. Luke and I just picked up Luke. We're outside my parents' house. We're February 10th tonight. We're celebrating a special night for my dad, a special night for Luke's papu, Greek for grandfather. It's his 75th birthday. To a guy who, came to the U.S. at 27 years old with his beautiful wife, my mom, Maria, and they were fortunate enough to be set up in a good situation. And my dad, I have to give him a lot of credit. He started his career in the U.S. Demolishing burnt buildings. I remember my mom would tell me he'd come home every night completely dark from head to toe in soot. Went into the restaurant industry, eventually had his own pizza shop while my mom was sewing draperies, and eventually joined her full-time in the drapery business. And, while raising my sister and I, and, eventually became, a father and a grandfather, but has had quite the life and quite the career, and still comes to the workshop every day, kind of works his own hours. But, I don't know how you feel, Luke, but, Papu's taught us a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taught us a lot about working hard and mostly maintaining a positive attitude. He always says, it's not who makes the mistake, it's who fixes it. And, he's made a lot of mistakes, I've made a lot of mistakes, but he's always sharp enough and comes up with a solution to fix it, and usually fix it right away. Anyway, that's a little bit about my dad. I'm blessed to have him in my life. I love you very much, Dad, and happy birthday, and looking forward to going in and celebrating with you right now. So anyway, a little piece about my dad. Little update from last night's dinner. Good morning, everybody. I had to share this because I realized I covered the last 48 years of my dad's life in the U.S., if my math is right. But prior to that, in Greece, where he was growing up, we covered a couple things over dinner last night. And, by force, he was a goat herder for the family. They grew up in the mountains of Greece, and the goats provided milk and food. And so my kids, were wondering, hey, Papu, what did you do as a goat herder? Why'd you do it? Well, he had to do it. But his job was to prevent the goats from getting into the crops, because the goats could, eat and destroy the crops that, grew corn and other things. But he was telling us and explaining to us how he was always hungry. Every day he was hungry. He had 10 brothers and sisters. He was usually given, a porridge or something like that to start the day. And we'd say, what would you do during the day if you got hungry? He said, I was always hungry. But he said, sometimes I would get a little cup and I would milk one of the goats. I would drink the goat milk right there. And we were all like, these stories always come out with my dad, with my uncles, that you never heard before. I never heard before. I always knew he was a goat herder, but I never heard before that he, would drink straight from the goat, which, makes sense. If you're hungry, you got to do those things. But anyway, a little side story from last night's dinner, family dinner, celebrating my dad's 75th. He went on at 13 years old. He was really forced out of the house. My grandfather and grandmother couldn't really feed him anymore. So he moved in with his older brother, John, who was also the one responsible for bringing him to the U.S. Thank God. Thank God for Uncle John and Aunt Helen. So, parts of those story they get a bit emotional. But he worked at a huge mill, wood mill, making basically floor planks for wood floors. And to this day, my dad, when he hears the saws running at the shop, it brings back memories of that wood plank wood shop he worked at. So what I'm getting at is he's had a lot of amazing jobs. He's an amazing dad, but I had to share that story with you because I don't know, I'm spoiled. I have it too good. Maybe we all have it too good, and I think sometimes you got to take a step back and say, we really have to appreciate what we have. But enough about family and stuff like that. The shop is buzzing. My employees are amazing. They're working extremely hard, producing beauty every day. And you know, in particular, my man Vasili, he is a workhorse. He's one of those guys. He's got a motor that doesn't stop, you know. And I have to give him a shout out because every day he comes in with a smile. All my employees come in with a smile and work hard, but he in particular is God sent. He's a special man, and I love him very much. So shout out to my man Vasili. He produces amazing things every day, and I love him. He's a great guy. So a little something about the workroom. A lot more stuff to come. And just so you know, those great videos of him installing come from him. He does a great job with that. And Manny does an amazing job kind of editing them and making them look cool. So have a great rest of the week. It's Thursday. I think we could say have a good weekend. And we'll talk to everybody soon.